Okay, let's start with yesterday's trades and my current positions. So I bought this LGCY as a swing trade at 260 here. I saw some big volume coming in, and the short was really good, flagging nicely. Former runner, very beaten down stock. So I think this thing, first stop is going to be $3 on this one. I did about 20,000 shares. Yeah, exactly 20,000 shares, 259 average. So yeah, let's see how it works out. EMES, I've been in this thing since this day here. I had a really nice looking breakout here on some volume. Also beaten down oil name. And I have about a third left. And now every sell I made on the way up looks idiotic in hindsight. It looks like it wants to go to 20. And I'll probably sell my last shares here if it gets here. My trailing stop is now here about probably $16. VNR, I've been in this thing since last week from the low 80s. I sold some today. Still have some. I think may go to 120s or something. My stop is probably gonna be here low 90s. Pola, I took a position in this one yesterday, but I got out of it. I didn't hold it overnight because they have earnings in a few days. But it looked good. It had some volume out of the gate, but there was no follow through at all. No more volume and no price increase. So I would have probably sold it anyways, even if the earnings wasn't coming in a few days. MBLX, this is unrelated. Ice Age Sharp been long from here. I still have, I think, about half left. Trailing stop is here in the mid 14s. I think this thing may go to 20 possibly. It's a very explosive growth stock, recent IPO. I like it. If it goes sideways another 3 to 5 days, and so the 20-day can catch up and then breaks out, I may add more to this one. Tesla, I shorted it on the opening range lows here on this day here. Opening range lows. And I think this thing could fade back to mid-low 240s. It's very overextended, straight up in a line. I thought it was a good risk reward. The stop is gonna be here about 257s or so. BL, actually I closed this one out yesterday. Had a nice IPO breakout here, no follow through. So AFI, bought it a few days ago on this breakout. All the building material stocks broke out. This is a recent IPO. Stop is gonna be high 20s or so. Coup, bought it here. Last time it broke out of a bottom, like it did here, had a nice multi-week run. It got rejected after 50 days, so I'm probably gonna use yesterday's lows here, 2560s or so as my stop. Because this thing could do like Asia. I had it earlier this week. I bought it here, got rejected after 50 day. I was up $3,000, ended up taking a $1,700 loss on it, and it just kept going down even more. I'm afraid this could do something like this, so I'm just gonna. I tightened up my stop pretty aggressively on this one. CNX. This has been a frustrating stock. I took a loss on it on this day. Then I had a huge score. I was up like 14,000 on it on this day here. And then it grinded back the rest of the day. I was up 14,000 here at the lows, but I wasn't fast enough to put in bids because it just flushed 50, 70 cents like inside about 30 seconds or something. And then it grinded back and it taking like a $2,000 profit on it after being up 14,000. So, and yesterday I added when it went red. I did some shares, covered some on the weakness, and I'm just keeping. I have 5,000 shares now overnight. This is not the real average. This is everything I'm holding overnight in this account. The position average gets changed to the previous day's close. So this is not my real P&L. These were my trades initiated yesterday, so this is the real average, but these are not. So CNX, my real average is probably slightly higher. I think this thing can fade below 14s, or at least the low 14s, maybe even the high 13s or something. But stop is gonna be here, 1580s. SYRX, I saw some volume coming in, had a nice bottom shot. I know it's a pump, they try, especially this one chat room tries to pump it repeatedly. But, you know, one of these days it may go. It's putting in higher lows, has a nice range. This thing had a big run a few months back, went up 100% in a day. So I thought the risk reward was pretty good. I bought it here at 29s, 30s. I bought 50,000 shares. Then didn't have no follow. Tried to get out on offers, but yeah, this thing barely traded after that first hour. So I only got out some. I still have 35,000 shares, 30-cent average. Gonna try to get out rest today. UEC, this one I had from here, high 60s, no follow through, so I took a little bit of a loss on it yesterday. Got stopped out here in the basically break even. Delcath I had a few days ago, no follow through. This has toxic financing, so this is probably gonna be sub 30 very soon. So these were my trades. Let's look at my short watch list. TBIO, nothing here yet. Nothing here yet. This one, I had some good trades on it earlier this week. Now it's bouncing. Put in like 80% bounce. I'm hoping it can go to 270s or maybe even 280s to initiate the new swing short. LNG up nicely 3 days in a row. Not a big move. It's only like a 16% move, but it's very liquid, so you can do a lot of size. This is something, you know, if a good intraday setup, you can maybe risk 20, 30 cents on it, possibly make a buck 50. Hopefully it can push to like mid-high 50, like 52 bucks even today. That would be nice. Then I would be looking for a setup on it. REM, just stalking it. Hopefully it can extend to 50 plus. That would be great. Long watch list. REXX, I'm just stalking it. Over 80 cents I would be interested. Had a nice recent run. AXIM, I am looking for a breakout out of this area here. Hopefully it goes sideways for a few more days. This is not ready yet. I'm just stalking it. Not ready yet. Not ready yet. Like, these are oil stocks. They're all gonna break down or break out the same day probably. Just watching. It's getting tight. Riding this 50-day rising moving average. You know, a few more days and then a breakout out of this formation could be good. This thing could go up to 10 or something. IPHI, looks not tight enough. DNR, this looks really good. The 50-day has caught up. Really nice long flag. If we can have some breakout here and volume, that would be nice. This is a very liquid stock, so you can do pretty decent size. I'm just looking for a breakout on volume on all of these. This is a recent IPO, putting in higher lows here on the 60-minute chart, and it has a range here, 47.30s. A couple of more days sideways would be nice. Nah, it's not ready. Basically, I'm looking for a breakout on all of these. OREX, I traded it a couple of days ago. Had some news, so it gapped up. I bought it on opening range highs, and it spiked like 20 cents instantly, 30 cents actually, and then it just faded back. I took a small loss on it, but it's still holding this rising trend line. So if it tries to break out again above this 360, 365 area, I'm gonna trade it again. Especially if volume comes in. This one, no, not ready yet. Let's see. Now this dries, they're selling paper like there's no tomorrow. It's down, like in the past 1, 2, 3, 4 sessions. This thing is down 65% in this last 4 sessions alone. And before that, it was down like almost 80%. So this is just beaten like crazy. They probably have tens of millions more shares to sell, so it doesn't have to bounce, but it can bounce. And the more extended it gets to the downside, like it has, look at these clean down days it had in a row, series of clean down days. Why can't this thing bounce 50 cents or something, a buck intraday? Here it actually had a nice bounce about 2 weeks ago, bounced 30% intraday. So, and here, I think it was this week actually, had a bounce of 20% intraday. So there could very easily be a 20-30% intraday bounce, and I want to be there. If I can find a setup where I can risk, I don't know, 20 cents to possibly make, you know, I don't know, risk 10, 15, 20 cents to possibly make 50, 80 cents or something, that would be great. Again, it can bounce, but yeah, gotta be careful. I'd like to see something like higher lows or some kind of a sideways action, because as you can see, it just puts it lower highs all the time. Then it rallies into resistance, fades off. So you want to see some kind of a range taken out. Like here, it took out the range to the upside and had a nice bounce. So yeah, it's kind of hard to explain what I'm looking for, but when I see it, I see it. Okay, so what more did I trade? Let's see, I'm looking at my logs. I did some DELT. I saw some volume coming in, so I bought, but then I saw a chat room was pumping it, so I sold it. Pretty much break even. Let's see, DELT, yeah. Pretty much break even. AVGR. This is one of these annoying 5-set spread stocks. I bought it here on the consolidation. I was thinking maybe it has another leg up, but it didn't, so took a small loss on it. HLF, tried to short it. I don't know exactly how I lost on the short side today, but I did. I kind of chased it a little bit, and then I stopped out when it looked like it was gonna go green, so I was actually up a couple of grand on it, but yeah, whatever. Was it a high conviction trade anyways? Oh yeah, by the way, dries, I did try some on the long side yesterday, but yeah, got stopped out. I was a little bit too eager. Thankfully I did only tiny size. I was in like quarter size or something. And that's about it. Yeah. Okay.